Hello and welcome to the Nintendo Switch Online Game Club, the show where we play through the games available on Nintendo's various NSO apps completely at random. I'm your host, Derrick Bittner, and in this episode I'm joined by the returning FTA, who last time played Mario's Super Picross. How you doing, FTA?
I'm not playing that game again, so I'm doing better.
Yeah, definitely playing something far different from that this time around. But before we get to that, we also have TJ, member of the Find the Computer Room, Warcraft lover, and One Piece devotee.
Somebody say One Piece?
Yeah, yo.
Firmly in the Church of Frankie.
Frobin.
Frobin for life. There you go.
TJ's like Handsome Pete from The Simpsons. You mentioned One Piece, he'll just sing the One Piece rap for an hour. You mentioned One Piece, I'll be dancing for hours.
Said Warcraft. I'm in a tussle right now.
I guarantee this is going to be one of the most chaotic things you've ever seen. If you're not familiar with either of these two, it's going to be a blast. But as you're both likely aware, there are now over 200 games across the NSO, and while some are widely known like Super Mario Bros. And Zelda, there are some odd picks that could be considered hidden gems. We honestly don't know. So what we do is enter all those games into a randomizer, pick one, and then give our initial thoughts. And this week, the Wheel of Games has chosen Rival Turf on the Super Nintendo. Do either of you have any familiarity with Rival Turf?
All I'm going to say is I doubt this is a hidden gem. And when it first revealed, I thought it was a mess because wasn't it like even one of the first episodes you played? Or maybe it was the episode where you had Ant Dude and Fushi. Wasn't their game like Tough Fighters? That had like tough in the name.
Tough enough, yes.
Tough enough. So I'm like, what? Stop it.
No, you're thinking of the episode. You're thinking of the episode when they played Turf Rival, where you play a groundskeeper who has to maintain a football field next to another groundskeeper's football field.
No, you're thinking of the day I went to Nancy's and I left you home alone.
Oh no!
Boggle.
Oh god. Yeah, I've heard of this game before, but only because it's on NSO and I've seen it pop up a few times, and it catches your attention because the American box art is just two 90s kids trying to look tough.
I saw that on Google, and it looks like it's so embarrassing. Like, I have no idea who these... I'm sure, like, they were just two random models. Like, they have nothing to do with... They probably weren't even hired for this cover. Then whoever published this game, Janico, was just like, get some stock art of two tough-looking kids. And I'm like, you don't ever want to say this about kids, but if I had a time machine, I wouldn't go back and, like, stop JFK from being killed. I just go back and beat the shit out of these two kids. like, what is this cover? They're, like, standing there against, like, a really blue building with, like, the perspective. Anyone doesn't see it, I'm sure Derrick can put it up. The American box art, it's like a really sunny background. The two kids are standing there, and the angle where the building is, the kids would have to be, like, doing a Michael Jackson lean forward for the perspective of the building behind them to make sense. And I want to find these two kids and whoever photoshopped this image and break all their legs with a baseball bat. That is now my mission to go back in time. Not for anything productive.
The thing is, I'm not sure if the Japanese box art's much better. I'm going to pop it into to our live audience just so everybody can see it there. This is called Rushing Beat in Japan, and it's like shirtless M. Bison, but stir with a shirt and another guy in a red shirt.
If you didn't show me the title, I'd be like, that is just Bison and Cody from Final Fight. Taking on the world. Like that. Fuck it, I want to play that game now. Let's play M. Bison, Cody from Final Fight.
I just thought of J.K. Simmons and Whiplash. This is like, are you Rival Turf or are you Rushing Beat?
The amazing thing is, this game did get two sequels, both of which are on NSO. Brawl Brothers and Peacekeepers. Those are, believe it or not, named completely different things, but they're all in the same trilogy.
This is a real like First Blood Part 2 Rambo 3 situation we got going on here.
I feel
So
like
what-
this
so-
was one of those games that when Nintendo like had their big like, random announcement that they were adding this to the NSO, that the only person excited for it was Johnny's uncle.
I will have a feeling when Nintendo were like, shit, we don't have any like good games left. We're gonna give these nerds something. Like, fuck it. What do we have access to? Yeah, just crap those out on it. Like, because like are these, I'm gonna assume these aren't first party Nintendo. Like, what company owns this? Is it Jalico?
This is Jalico. Yes, this is Jalico.
Are they still around?
I don't know. They might be. I'm not sure at the moment.
It's not. So again, this is nothing, but it's just what I'm about to say is complete nonsense. But just because I have nothing of interest to talk about this game with, it's pretty accurate. The name of the company, I just like to imagine this Jellicoe is the same Admiral Jellicoe who took over the Enterprise when Picard was invaded by the Borg. That's my comment. That's my comment. I'm like, that name rings a bell in my head. Oh, it's Star Trek. I guess this game might be good, but this might be a next generation game. It's written. We just don't know.
I don't know about any of this, but by looking at the Wikipedia, because again, I know nothing about this game other than it is a beat 'em up. This is pretty much a Final Fight clone. So Cody being there is kind of fitting. But its big thing was it actually had multiplayer, unlike Final Fight on SNES. So there's like, we actually have two players going on here. But there's a lot of differences between the North American and Japanese version because there's actually story sequences in the Japanese version. Yeah, North American got rid of that.
Holy so this is so crazy. So like I follow, there's a YouTube channel I follow called Triple Jump, and a lot of their content is just like they're video game based, but a lot of their content are just like, here's the top 10 best platformers and shit on like a content. But they will do research and they will reference like officially like the game rankings and reviews and stuff. They just had one, but the top 10 were Super Nintendo games, and this was high on the list because they referenced the Japanese version had cutscenes. When you said that, a flashback. I watched that like a week ago. How serendipitous. I hate my life.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, so fuck. So not only are we playing apparently one of the worst critically reviewed games on the Super Nintendo, we're playing the inferior version of it.
I mean,
it's like playing the PS3 version of Sonic 06. It's a piece of shit. But we're playing the slightly worse piece of shit than the original piece of shit was. Like, oh great. It's gonna be great. I love it. I love it when you bring me onto this show, Derek. We classics.
Hey, you got Kirby the first time, so I don't want to hear it.
Okay, but Johnny didn't like it. He was crying the whole time.
Yeah, it's true. So here's the worst part of the localization. So in the Japanese version, you can actually change the number of lives you had and the amount of continues that you could use. That's gone here. So we're probably gonna have to make use of the rewind functionality and whatnot.
You
of the
get one
NSO.
life and one continue.
Yeah.
No, fuck off.
You're in trouble otherwise.
One life and one
life
continue.
and one continue.
That's all you get. But yeah, it's. I mean, the reviews are already saying it's unoriginal, but earlier, I got Streets of Rage 2, one of the best beat 'em ups of all time. This is not going to compare to Streets of Rage 2. I can almost guarantee this.
You know what, Derek? We already mentioned Final Fight, which I get it, direct comparison, but now the entire time I'm going to be playing this, I could have had Streets of Rage 2. I fucking don't.
Nope,
you
missed it. You missed it.
Correct.
Derek, there's no law. Like, you could go back and respin.
No
one's gonna.
Are you going to try to get ruin the heart of this show, the randomness of it, the fact that we have no idea what we're going to get? You want me to take away that spark of the show?
Yeah, Derek, I'm gonna completely pull the curtain back. On my first episode, we technically got Fantasy Star 4 first, and then we were like, fuck it, let's do another one. We got Kirby
I think time, no. So. What happened there is we got Kirby first, and then the recording. We thought it messed up, and so we were just going to have to re-roll, and we got Fantasy Star after that. And then when we realized it didn't mess up, we decided, like, okay, which one do we want? You guys chose Dreamland 2, but that still technically went with the one that was first re-rolled, and it works out because Fantasy Star 4 came up later anyway.
I mean, I think somebody in the comments just like, you guys are idiots. Just use the fucking YouTube. They were watching. I was like, oh yeah, we can do that. So we didn't
Yeah,
have to.
yeah.
But you know, part of me, I should. I know I joke saying like, let's get Banjo Kazooie. I'm gonna be honest with you. I wouldn't have time to play the whole fucking Banjo Kazooie in a week.
But you know Banjo Kazooie at this point, like what
Yeah,
the like.
but still, but like this guy apparently on you type in the game and all it comes up is a bunch of like let's plays and they're all like an hour. I can give this game an hour of my life.
Yeah, it's a beat 'em up.
try.
This is not going to be a long game. It's not going to take a lot of time from us. And that's the nice bit about all this. And you know, you guys got to we got to figure out who we're going to play. Are we going to play as Jack Flack or Uzi Nelson?
Oh, shoot.
That's our
on
characters.
Uzi.
Uzi, kind of going with Uzi.
Uzi Nelson. Oh my god.
Yep.
That's as bad a name as fucking Pushy Galore from James Bond. Like, that's just bad. That's just bad. Because again, I don't think like with Super Picross, I don't think we're gonna have a whole lot to talk about. I just typed in Google just trying to see if there's a TV show called Rival Turf I can talk about.
Oh no.
But there's not. So
That's the show about rival groundskeepers.
There you go. Just pull up an episode of Simpsons and watch Groundskeeper Willie.
I'm gonna put was the Japanese name called Russian Beat?
Rushing Beat, yes.
Yeah, see, there's a TV show called Russian Beat.
The one other thing I was going to say something else about this, but Gareth, of course, made me lose my complete train of thought, unsurprisingly.
Constantly.
Oh, yeah, you were saying this is one of the worst. I don't know if this is going to be one of the worst. I would be shocked if this ends up being worse than Bomboozle or Tough Enough. Like, those are my bottom two right now. I will be shocked if they get that bad.
I'm just saying, based on Triple Jump's video, where again, that they can, it isn't just them saying we think this game's bad. They compiled like professional reviews, and I guess critically speaking, this is one of the worst reviewed Super Nintendo games ever made. So,
oh boy, that's yeah. Well, do we have anything else to say before we jump into this? Because I don't think we can put this off any longer.
Why have you done this to me?
Why did I do this to you? Blame Gareth. I was like, Gareth, who do you want to have on the show? I was like, oh, bring on TJ. It's like, okay, we'll have TJ on.
Because I like to make him suffer. And again, I'm just like, I was thinking the last time the three of us were in a recording together, it was on an old podcast TJ and I used to do. And it was when Derrick, you were working for Ratface, treated his employees like garbage man. And I remember just making a comment, because TJ and I, I'm sure we'll get it worse next week, but we were just like, fucking slinging insults at each other, memes and references a mile an hour. And I remember at one point, about 20 minutes in, I just turned to you and said, Derrick, I'm going to assume this is very different than the usual stuff you record. And you were like, yeah, you have no fucking idea. This weird. I don't like this. This is weird. Like,
nah, so I embrace the chaos now. I think this is what it's all about. I know what I'm in for when I have you two on. So,
so I'm hoping next week will just be insane.
I somehow don't doubt it. So, yeah, let's go ahead. We'll have a week to play this 1 hour game. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll see you very soon for our full thoughts on Rival Turf. Till then. And we're back after a week of playing Rival Turf for the Super Nintendo. Something I had no familiarity with. None of us did. So what did we actually think? TJ, let's start with you.
Beat 'em ups are dumb and I hate them.
Beat 'em ups are dumb and I hate them.
I really hate them. I don't like them.
Really? You don't play beat 'em ups that much?
TJ, that's the thing. You are missing an important sentence between that. Beat 'em ups are dumb. I'm bad at them. I hate them. That's the sentence you were missing in that.
I don't see how that's relevant.
Yeah, I gotta say, this is not a beat 'em up that would change your mind. But before I give my thoughts, let's get Gareth's in here. Gareth, what did you think of Rival Turf?
I didn't hate it. I'll be honest with you. I did not hate it. I don't misconstrue that for me saying I think it's amazing. After playing it, I think last week I mentioned it was on that Triple Jump video of like the worst reviewed Super Nintendo games of all time. Kind of surprised it was that low. I have played, in my opinion, I have played worse Super Nintendo beat 'em ups than this. It's not.
I'm curious which ones.
There was a Superman Doomsday beat 'em up, and it was just like it wasn't that good. Also, for playing as Superman and the fact that you're just fighting normal people, surprisingly hefty health bars for the mooks you fight. And I'm just like, what?
Did he get kryptonite planted on him or something?
I played. You can fly, which I'm like, it's amazing. It's fucking worthless on a beat 'em up, but like you can literally fly in here. I'm like, why can't I just go past the screen? I'm fucking Superman. But it's just like
Gareth always has a problem with like video game logic. Like
I do.
I swear,
it's
every
a
time him and I have
door.
played Smash Brothers, he'll complain about how underpowered Mega Man's Mega Buster is.
I'm just saying it should blow Diddy Kong's face off, and it doesn't. What the fuck?
I'm curious about your feelings on the logic of this map that we have. That ostensibly
don't you love it?
California.
I had notes about this.
We start at Police Street and we end at my favorite location in the entire planet. Hideout. It's my favorite place to go. Love it.
What about
somehow in South America?
No, my favorite part is in terms of the logic of the story. This guy, either the two people you're playing as, they just like jump and hold onto a helicopter that travels half a continent away, and then just let down. And like, that's fine. Thanks for the lift, boys.
Not
Now
a
let's go
half a
fight some more
continent,
people.
a full continent. They start out in Canada, and they end up in like Brazil.
I thought they were supposed to be in LA. I didn't realize that was Canada. The map's so wonky.
It's meant to be. Like. It's clearly meant to be LA, but I think in terms of how how badly the map is drawn, it might be Canada. Like fucking knows where they start, you know. But Police Street,
God.
what a name! What a name!
And the fact that the level's called Police Street, but they go on several streets. Like it's not just Police Street.
The fact that the second level is just in a baseball stadium, we could have walked past that. Really, we could have walked to get to our end goal. We could have bypassed the baseball stadium. I'm just going to say it. That was an unnecessary detour.
That on Police Street, there's a street sign that says 61st Street.
Yes, I did see that.
And I was like, "Come on, guy, you're going to put 69th there? That would have been funny for a little bit." We also take a bus.
Police.
You know what? You know what makes no sense in that? We walk. We start here. We walk down here. Then we get on a bus, which takes us 1,000,000 miles that way. Why would we walk in that way to begin with? If we're going to get the bus to go left, just go fucking left to begin with.
Well, he's got to go to the bus stop.
I'm just trying to find the bus stop.
So,
not exactly PC naming conventions here either.
Oh, no.
What do you mean?
You fight the Indian boss at the end of the first level, and his name's Genie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was like, that's weird. I'm just not gonna comment on that one. Yeah. So maybe I was fortunate enough to get Streets of Rage 2 in an earlier episode.
Yeah, you mentioned that last week. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Maybe I'm colored by the fact that I played a really good game because I think this is one of the worst I've played on NSO so far.
Well, you said this was the third worst. What were the other two?
The other two, the worst is still Bomboozle, easily. And then the fighting game, Tough Enough. This, I think, is worse. Like, better than those, but definitely not as good as the other stuff I played. Mainly because it feels so empty, I guess is the best way to put it. There is no impact on any of the hits you do. There's no crunch to the punches that you perform or the moves that you do, and the sound effects are weak. I played the skinny guy. I forget his name, Rick or whatever.
Flack.
And you
Jack
hit
Flack.
That's right, Jack Flack. And you hit the button once, and he does like 3 punches. I'm like, what? It made no sense to me. I eventually switched over to Uzi
his upper
because
torso gyrates like Han Solo dodging Greedo's shot.
Yes.
He punches, they go, it's great. Like, no, it's 10 out of 10. Fucking wonderful. Let's go.
It just didn't feel good whatsoever. And the thing that annoyed me the most is that we spoke before that they took out the ability to adjust your continues and lives and stuff like that. So this game is cheap as all hell, and enemy will lock you in and like, there's half your health. Like punch, 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 half your health gone or whatever. It is so easy to lose health. They barely give you any healing items. And there is no way to earn lives because usually there's points. You earn, 100,000 points or whatever, and you get an extra life to help you keep going further. I used the rewind at a certain point just so I could actually beat the game. And I had like a stack of like, because they rack it up by kills. So I had about 200 kills. No extra life whatsoever.
Well, two things about that. One, I do agree with you on that. Although I will say, I know that you said the Japanese version let you change that. The fact that they give you 5 continues and each continue has 5 lives, to be somewhat fair, that is more generous than most beat 'em ups give you.
True.
That doesn't detract from how cheap the game can be sometimes. That is true, but I do feel that like it's. I don't want to say it's mitigated, but it's better than if you just had 1 continue and like 3 lives. At least they've somewhat tried to help you in that regard a little bit. I mean, obviously the better help would have been improving the controls. I think that's so. Like a lot of my notes are about stuff like that. It's. Yeah, I got a shitload of notes here, so you need the way because I'm ready to go at a moment's notice.
Well, while you're searching for those, what else is on your notes, TJ?
Buy milk, take out trash.
Isn't bad.
Soundtrack isn't bad. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I groove to it a little bit.
That is one of my notes. I think my note here says music is kind of good. Derrick, do not crucify me for this. I said it's kind of to me sounds Mega Man X-ish. Not to say it's on the same level as Mega Man X, but I felt a lot of the instrumentations and the melodies used. I could see if this was the sound, like if you just gave me this music and said this is the soundtrack to Mega Man, to a lost Super Nintendo Mega Man X game, I'd be like, yeah, that kind of checks out to me.
Like it's a prototype. It's a prototype song that then make it into the full game. That sort of idea.
I also think
I would say especially the stadium music.
Stadium music. But like for me, it's like
that. Like I immediately thought of that.
They're good. I think they're pretty good melodies. The length. They're too short. They repeat too quickly. I feel like if a lot of these were a bit longer, with a bit more fleshed out, this might be one of those games. It's like bad, like average game, but pretty good soundtrack. Just like, most of the later Mega Man games. I said it. I said it. Fucking said it!
Another thing on my notes is... go ahead.
No, you go ahead, TJ.
This game actually got like a hearty laugh out of me. From just something absurd that happens. The part when... I think it's the docks level. The level right before the hideout.
Yeah.
Where you run into the boss and he's just sitting in a chair, and then you walk up and he's like, oh,
oh crap. Oh, that is pretty good. Who did you guys end up playing more? Did you play as Jack or Uzi?
I went back and forth. I found myself playing Jack a bit more. I have some notes about them. So Jack. My note here says, main guy looks like a cross between Fry and Doug, and then in parentheses, Biddy West Shih Tzu. To me, because he's wearing Fry's outfit, but maybe it's just because of how bad the sprites are. He has Doug's big nose. And I'm just like, what, yeah. Hey, Doug, man, what is this? Man. What is this shit? I put Captain Lou embracing as fun moves, but bad range. He looks like if Captain Lou Obama...
Yeah, he is so M. Bison.
Was dressed as M. Bison. That's what it looks like. It is weird because it's like...
He's supposed to be a cop.
Is he?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Then there's my theory.
To be fair...
It absolutely takes place in Canada then because he's dressed like a Mountie.
Although Derrick, to be fair, Hager in Final Fight goes around with nothing on top, and he's the mayor.
Yeah, true.
So just because maybe
but also
this is
former wrestler.
But maybe this is just what Knockoff Bison wears when he's not on duty.
Okay.
There's no uniform for mayor. There's a dog that's a mayor.
Cheese.
That too.
Did you guys make use of the angry mode?
Rage mode. You know what? I actually I have a note here that says rage mode is a pretty unique / great idea. I actually think it's pretty good, because like TJ, if you didn't play it, rage mode is if you turn it on, if you get hit enough in succession. So say one mook takes out like half your health, you like a rage meter will fill up, and then you will be invincible and like you can't take damage for like 10 seconds. That's a pretty great mechanic for a beat 'em up, and it doesn't cost you any health. It doesn't cost you any lives. Why the fuck would you not play with this feature on? It's weird. Like again,
it helps a lot.
It's a pretty good feature.
I checked the options to see if there was a level,
options.
like life option type thing, but I saw angry mode. I'm like, what the heck is this? And I just turned it on, and all of a sudden I'm like, I see it come up, and I'm like, is this draining my health? Because that's where the meter is over top of your health. I'm like, oh, am I losing health because I'm using this? And like, no, it just takes you back to where
you're having a heart attack.
Oh my god! One other thing in that vein, I like how the special move. So like as Derrick said, the game keeps track of how many enemies you've defeated. Once you've defeated at least 5, you can do your special move. I like that as a mechanic because I always dislike it in games like Streets of Rage or like Shredder's Revenge, where doing your special will take your health away. I've never really liked that as a beat up. I like this as the better you are at playing. But of course, the caveat to that is both of their special moves fucking suck and have no range.
Yeah.
Like, no joke, the amount of time I will have 3 enemies near me. I do my special, which for Flack, he does like a spinning kick on the floor.
Yeah.
The M. Bison is like twirls around like a Crash Bandicoot. The amount of times I'll do that, and then the guy, like someone next to me, will just beat the shit out of me afterwards. I'm like, oh, that's good. Thanks for that special move. That was fucking great.
I never realized that's what the lives are for.
Realistic physics.
Yeah,
if somebody saw me
totally realistic physics.
They're just gonna be like, I'm just gonna.
Yuji Naka programmed this himself. It's top notch. No complaints. But yeah,
I did not realize
that is what the special move is for.
Oh, so that's why they keep track of lives. Because I was doing it for a little bit, and then they stopped doing it. It's like, it's not taking my life away. So why isn't it working? I couldn't figure it out. So that made something click in my mind. But okay.
But again, it's like. I like that. I really like that idea. It's not implemented the best, but that is something I would welcome. Like not a sequel to this game, but like another beat 'em up doing something like that. You know, I genuinely think that is that and rage modes are 2 genuinely good ideas. I think.
I'd agree with that. I would agree with that, and. We did see in the preconceptions that this does have 2 sequels, both on the NSO, and they did review better, so apparently they learned. But yeah, it's.
Wait, does Big Al come back?
I don't know. Oh God, I can only imagine.
He went to YouTube
trying to fight Big Al with the limited lives we had, because I was already rewinding. I think I made it to World 5 because I was basically using one continue per level. I just couldn't maintain lives longer than that. And
so I have 2 things. I have 2 things about that. One, I put final boss Big Al is like if you AI'd every Street Fighter 2 character into one person, because so many of their looks, their attacks. But at the end, so like we said, I think Derrick, you said that the game took out cutscenes. There is like the final one at the end. And when Big Al is like, I'm gonna recruit more kids and I'm gonna make a bigger game. I'm like, that's just Shredder's plan from the 1990s Ninja Turtle movie. collect some urban street youths, have them do generic crime. That's just fucking Shredder's plan. A unique little bitch.
Oh wait, what happens to him?
He just falls down and dies. Like it's like, I'm gonna do this. Oh, I guess not. That's like because they don't hit him. He just gives up. He just gives up. Like, you know what? Maybe not.
Oh no, the hits actually took effect now. Oh,
maybe I'll come back for a sequel. Probably not. Bye.
I have no idea.
What was he supposed to be spitting? Like, what was that?
I don't know.
fireballs. That I thought that was just like a
Oh,
Street Fighter Hadouken. That was just like a fancy move.
Yeah.
So many
I learned
characters.
that you're invincible while doing your kick animation. So that was my strategy, is just trying to kick towards him as much as possible. But you do so little damage with a kick when the kick connects. So it's like.
But you know what? That's another thing. I also like how the characters have a run button.
Do they?
They don't. Yeah, LNR makes them run. And then. Am I the only one who actually played this game properly?
Apparently,
no wonder I enjoyed it more than
so.
you two. You know what the fuck you're talking about?
I didn't realize there was a. I didn't think they
know
used
you
the
were a
LNR
big
button to
rival
beat
turf
him up.
fan.
No wonder you got fired from Game Explain. That's being cut out.
What was the Japanese name again?
I will totally forget to do that. What were you saying, TJ?
I was trying to remember what the Japanese name for this game was, and I was like, Beach Street?
I think it was Beat Street, yeah. So, or Rushing Beat. Rushing Beat is what it was called.
That's it, yeah. Because I made that Whiplash joke last week.
Yes.
I'm gonna quickly run through some more of my notes here. So I got fight on the bus in San Francisco. I forget if I think it was from Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi stole that moment in their movie from this game. Totally.
Mm-hmm.
The food here is sushi. It hasn't been turned into a burger. No cultural appropriation like Final Fight here. Superior franchise. One character, I just have a thing here that says Stanley Mook. One of the villains I thought had a face that looked like Stan Lee. I'm like, that's good for him. He's in this game. They have one called Arnold, who's literally an Arnold Schwarzenegger. They just called him Arnold. That's just lazy. That's just fucking lazy, man.
Derrick, one of my notes was that the portly villains look like Satori from Skypiea.
Yeah, he does. Oh, God.
I don't know what that means, so I'm going to ignore that. You know what?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. You know, something that I actually feel is that I would hope they would fix in a sequel, and something that I grew more and more tired of was that there's kind of a weird delay that happens to both you and the enemies from taking damage to having your health bar lowered. It seems like your health bar won't be affected until you've hit the floor and got back up, and then your health will go down again. And I'm like, that's one thing.
There's no way to not to fall down. It's weird, and they always makes the awkward animation where you fall to the ground, your health is gone, you stand back up, and then you have to fall back down.
You're just in the hospital and you have an incurable disease, and your family's all standing around you, and then you just stand up and you're like, I feel pretty good.
It's like at the end of Kill Bill. If he takes 5 steps, he'll die. He has to stay laying down for the rest of his life. If he gets up at all,
yeah,
he's fucking dead.
I found myself the most reliable method of combat I found in this game was trying to position myself as best as I could to just grab. I've never done so many throws in a game before, in a beat 'em up before, because if I tried to punch them, they would almost always interrupt me and then just get 3 or 4 hits and there's half my health. So I had to constantly grapple.
One of my notes here is
the glorious note.
Yeah, it's just like for some reason it feels like all of the enemies have longer hit range than you do. For both characters, it feels like if I'm hitting someone, they'll just be like JK, and then start hitting me more. I'm like, that's not part of the deal, mate. I went first. This is a turn-based combat, isn't it? I just wait for my turn to finish.
Did you do some frame data on this, Gareth?
What's that?
Did you look at some frame data to see?
I did. I was like frame data. I played it. I got a special version where it showed me all of the boxes, and everyone's green box was bigger than mine. I'm like, that's some bullshit, man.
No wonder he knew how to use the LNR button.
Sounds like a skill issue.
Of course, I was trying to get good. It didn't work.
Oh gosh, it's just one of those things. It's just like I functionally it's fine, but it's so unexciting that I think that's why it's so low for me. It's just there's not a lot there, and obviously would never beat this thing if not for the rewind function. It's like I don't care to just keep throwing myself at this game so I can finally reach Big Al and beat him. I'm okay with just
I
rewinding.
gotta get Big Al.
It's fine, guys. Again, he left YouTube years ago. It's fine. We can forget about him. Don't worry about it.
I meant to say this earlier, that I can't take the villain seriously. Like, Big Al. Like, they couldn't come up with a better name.
Wasn't that...
Like
who
what?
was the...
Medium Alfred?
There was that Simpsons bit where they had Skinner and somebody else working together.
Look, Big Daddy. It's regular Daddy.
It was Big Daddy, yes. And Big... he got away.
Wiggum
He's slowly swimming
yeah.
away. That's
He's
pretty much the
slowly
ending
swimming away.
That's pretty much the ending of freaking Rival Turf with Big Al. He's
It
just
would
like,
be if
we can't stop him.
in that short Big Daddy drowned while trying to swim away for no good reason. Then it would be just like this game. So Derrick, you saying earlier that none of us had played this before. So one of my level 5 boss has unlocked a core memory from me.
Really?
Fighting a guy, Iceman. Seeing that boss, Iceman, unlocked the core memory of me either playing or watching my cousin play this years ago. So I'm just like, holy shit! No wonder I don't remember this game.
So this playthrough is now illegal? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, we're all being arrested. Prepare to die.
Big Al's gonna get us.
Big Al's gonna kill us. He's gonna do his Mugen moves again.
Yeah.
I like how I also I can't remember the exact phrasing, but in the final cutscene when Big Al says like he essentially like refers to the area that they're in as like a single territory, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure we've moved continents.
Yes, we have. Was it just me, or did you guys have a hard time both picking up the food? Like I feel like I was over the food and I just wouldn't pick it up sometimes. And then every time there was an actual weapon that you could throw at an enemy,
God, the weapons suck.
It just whiffed. I'd swear, like I put myself at the bottom of the screen. There was no way to go any further down, and I saw the enemy down there as well, and it still whiffed them. I'm like, what the heck is the hitbox on this thing?
I'll say I love the animation of the bats, and I think there's like a wrench at one point too.
Yes.
Just the stupid, because it's just the punch, but you just have the
My favorite thing is that, like, obviously in the first level you get a knife, standard thrown weapon in games like Final Fight, Streets of Rage. My favorite one though is when you get a brick and a rock, because it's so funny to see him go, and then like a brick just goes perfectly straight down the level. Like, hilarious.
Why do you think we went to the stadium? We're trying out for baseball.
Well, so why do because normally in most beat 'em up games when there's stuff in like a box or a barrel, you hit it and it'll just break there. I didn't like how you hit it and then the box will move and then break. Like, don't do that.
I could do pile drivers to the boxes for some reason.
Oh god, Discount and Bison, I would just be pressing the same punch attack, and sometimes he'd be doing like backwards power drive. He'd be like throwing people with his feet. I'm like, where the fuck is this come from? Like, he had the strangest moves I've ever seen. And also that's the thing, like the obviously Final Fight, clearly the inspiration for this game.
Oh yeah.
But it's weird how, like, instead of 3 characters, we just get 2. Like, Discount and Bison is clearly the Hagger.
It's gonna be
DLC. Flack is Cody. Mm-hmm. I wish there was a guy, because in beat 'em ups I tend to go for the really fast but weaker characters.
Yeah. Just
because I find it's quicker to kill people with that. So I wish there was, generic. It's funny. I would say I wish there was a character with a generic name, but Guy is the most generic game a character could possibly have. So, Person. The guy in this game is just called Person. I wish that there was that third type.
Yeah.
I also wish, like, in Final Fight, also, like, the characters, there's things like a downward facing kick. There's more moves. It's very basic. I wish it was better.
Yeah.
We also didn't realize there was a run button, so.
Was there? Okay, there was a run button. Was there a dash attack?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Jack Flack's attack was he did like a Mortal Kombat style like slide kick.
Okay.
And Discount and Bison's was the sprite used is weird. I think it's meant to be a shoulder attack. He would just run and then he'd just like stop and like his hand would be out down by his waist like that, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? But no, again, so it really sounds like you guys played this game with like half of the moveset available to
I mean, to be fair, I don't think a friggin' run button would have improved things that much.
Well, as someone who used it, I can say you're wrong, because it does help out quite a bit.
Oh.
Because again, the sliding kick attack, it doesn't do much damage, but it's very effective for knocking people down.
Right.
So it was.
I was using the
think
jump attack
is,
for that. So.
Where did these mooks get dynamite, by the way?
I always think of that line from Looney Tunes Back in Action, where the generic woman character goes, "Dynamite? Who has dynamite?" And Daffy Duck just goes, "Welcome to my world." That's right. I just feel like it's just somehow people acquire dynamite in this world. It's great.
They
One of the power-ups, one of the weapons was a grenade. So I throw it, it goes, and it lands, tiny explosion, the three mooks around it not affected. Like, that's the fucking worst grenade. But, like, realistically speaking, that should have killed everyone on the screen right now. But no, it didn't fucking take out anyone. Terrible game. One thing I thought was funny, I think it's in level 3. I'm not sure if you would call this a subversion of a trope or just Jellicoe were just too lazy to make it. But there's one moment in, I think it's level 3, where the character walks onto like an elevator lift. And then there's a small cutscene of it going up, and you think, oh, elevator fight, let's go, boys. And then just fades to black, and you're at the top. Like, what's the fucking point of that? What's the elevator fight?
They robbed us the elevator level. It's not right.
Every game needs, even like no one really likes them, but it's a fucking staple of the beat 'em up genre.
Which is also ridiculous, because I think that's also the shortest level, because it only has like 2 areas. It's the street and then the rooftop.
Speaking of, level 6, that is obnoxiously long. That is like,
and you have to refight some bosses. It's ridiculous.
It's a boss rush. Like, come on.
This isn't Cuphead.
They are out to take those lives. Like, I can only imagine like getting good enough so you can make it to the end with that amount of lives. But
it's weird though, because like this isn't an arcade. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this isn't an arcade port. This was made directly for the Super Nintendo, right?
Right.
So it's like with arcade beat 'em ups, obviously they want to, get your quarters. There was no reason to be this dickish. I've already given you $50.
It's rentals.
Jennifer, give me my
kids rent it. It's like, we rentals. Can't beat it. Gotta try again.
No, I'll take it back.
Blockbuster.
That's why Blockbuster went out of business. Too many shitty games like this. This and the Lion King for Super Nintendo.
They specifically made it early levels hard, so you'd have to rent it again and again.
Bunch of dicks.
Oh, it's ridiculous. I really don't got much else to say, because it's just one of those things with this. This is just an inferior beat 'em up. It has some okay elements, but it is just not great.
My only a few notes I have is the bad guys you fight, both their designs and names, super fucking generic.
Oh yeah.
Like nothing about them stands out. I will say, like, Derrick, you said the game's cheap. I have Boss 4 in parentheses. Uncle Phil on steroids is insanely fucking cheap.
Yep.
The water isn't animated at the opening part of Stage 5, and it felt like I was watching all those pixel flashbacks on Sonic Prime. Hashtag deep cut reference. I think that's most of my stuff. Again, I didn't hate it. By no means is this like, if we were gonna make a, this does not deserve a place in the pantheon of great beat 'em up games.
No.
But I genuinely do think, like, I am kind of interested now to check out the sequels to see how much is in, because I do think there is enough here. And maybe this is just because I'm a diehard Sonic fan, so I'm like, there's good in this game, I swear. Like, just please listen to me. But it's just like, I genuinely think there are, like, because the combat isn't terrible. Again, it's a bit slow, and I think the bad guys have a bit too much range. But the controls feel good. I think like the rage meter, the special attack, good ideas. I genuinely think that with in a sequel that refined the combat, fixed up the graphics a little bit, could be a decent game. Knowing my luck, the next time I'm on this, I'll get that fucking game, and it'll be worse than this one.
Well, I'm looking it up just to see and just to see the next one, which is the next game is Brawl Brothers, and it goes from 2 to 5 characters. So there's that at least. Angry mode is back.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's better. I review better. We'll see.
They better give us 10 characters next time.
I don't see anything about
And
how many
Knuckles.
lives you get. So.
1 life. You get no lives. You start out dead.
Oh, that's
Great
interesting. It's the we'll have obviously talk about that later whenever it actually comes up. But it's the only known Brawl Brothers is the only known SNES game that features its Japanese version on the same cartridge, accessible through the use of a cheat code.
Oh, that's
So.
pretty cool.
Don't see that too often. So neat.
Do you think that was just because they were too lazy to like make a new one, and they was like, "Fuck, it's put on the same disc. I don't care, mate." we got
would-
100,000.
it would
I
make
think the
more-
Japanese audiences had to look up a cheat code to get their version.
It would make more sense if the cartridges were the same between U.S. and Japan, but they do have a different appearance. So, oh well.
They do, because I thought they were the same. Because I know the console. I think the console is the same.
Mm-hmm.
I think the PAL Super Nintendo is like the same design as the Super Famicom. I know, you fucking Americans gotta be special and have a specially designed one. I take all the colors away from the controller. Enjoy your purple and slightly lighter purple.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Fucking
great.
nerds.
man.
Mm.
It's
you
called
have
the
any-
Mega Drive, not the Genesis.
I don't know what a
It
Mega
wasn't
Drive
even
is.
Sega. Wasn't Sega's first console. It wasn't
What
even the
even
fucking
is a
first
Mega
console.
Drive?
It's the first book of the Bible in Europe and Japan.
Did you have any other notes before we wrap things up, TJ?
I think this game's only saving grace is its absurdity.
Yeah. And there's way more absurd beat 'em ups out there. Look up
Oh,
Captain
I got-
Commando. One of the
Speaking
playable
of
characters
that-
is a baby.
Speaking of that the boss of level 3, their idle animation when they're on like the gate behind you, looks like they're just constantly flipping you off. Did anyone else notice that?
I did not notice
I'm sure.
that.
I'm sure the animation is maybe meant to be them like, come here and let's fight. But the way the picture looks like, it's like, fuck you, I'm behind you, you can't get me now. Then, or my last point is just what fuck was it? The Jericho logo and like the theme that plays when their thing pops up, it goes Jericho. Like that's just ripping off Sega. That's just ripping off.
No,
Sega.
they say it's short.
Like,
Sega draws it out.
but they're saying the name and the things in blue, and I'm like, Eugenaka, you've sued for less. Get on this, mate. Let's go. Maybe they'll be in prison and not you if this worked. I'm just saying, if you would have sued back in the day, maybe we wouldn't have had to,
Yeah.
stifle
He
money.
was too
from...
busy being antagonistic to the U.S. developers at Sega.
You want to use my code in another Sega game? How dare you? That the company paid me to make? The company that's paying you to make that game want to use my code? Get out of here!
Let's go do some more insider trading.
I'm gonna go make Digimon games for a year and then go to prison.
Yeah, sounds good. All right. Well, I believe we said all we've wanted to say about Rival Turf for the Super Nintendo, but what's our final
Beat Street.
verdict? Rushing Beat or whatever it was called. But let's go ahead and make it as official. Would we recommend it as an NESO or tell people to stay away with an NO? Gareth, let's start with you.
Honestly, I could kind of go either way, but you know what? I'll give it the slightest NESO possible. Like it's a little bit away from it because again, I don't think it's terrible. There are better beat 'em ups out there, even though like fucking Derrick got Streets of Rage 2. Much better beat 'em up to go play, But again, I didn't hate it. It is fairly cheap. There are some design issues I have with the game. But again, I've played worse beat 'em ups. I played worse games on NSO on this show before. So yeah, like just don't go in expecting something as good as Final Fight or Streets of Rage, and you probably won't have the worst. Turn on angry mode, 'cause that's just instant power up. Turn on angry mode. Use the run button, you fucking cretins, and then I think you have a not terrible time.
What about you, TJ? Yeah.
Beat 'em ups are dumb and I hate them.
I wanted to play Banjo-Kazooie.
I don't agree with the beat 'em up comment, but I do agree that this is an no for me. This is, as you said yourself, Gareth, there's better things to play. It's easy to say, yeah, give it a shot because it's on NSO. You're already paying for it. You might as well try. But just on it as a game itself and as whether it's worthiness, it's like, no, play the sequel. Try the sequel first instead. I mean, I haven't even played it yet, but it sounds like it's better. To even implement these ideas better. There is really not a whole lot here to recommend. It is very much a Final Fight ripoff with not that interesting enemies, some pretty poor hit detection, and some really cheap moments of just like, okay, we get a single shot in. Okay, here's 3 more hits. Now half your health is gone. Congrats. It just upset me a lot. I was like, nah, I'm done. You know, I beat it, but I'm done.
This game it almost made Derrick quit GVG. That's how bad this game is. He was like, no. Oh, no.
They can't make me do it if I quit.
He activated angry mode.
The game gets angry.
But what about all of you? Have you actually played Rival Turf before, or was this your first time? And before we go, where can everyone find you at? TJ, plug away.
Oh yeah, I'm at Testof, TEH_STOF on Twitter.
There you go. Check him out. He'll talk your ear off about World of Warcraft
and One Piece.
Which
wrestling.
Man, near and dear to my heart. What about you, FTA?
I run a little channel called Game Explain. No, I'm at the real.
It was you.
That's my plan, is just to put it as many times as I can. No, I'm at the real FTA at pretty much most places. I mostly hang out on Twitter and get shouted at for my opinions on bad things. And I stream a lot on Twitch. I haven't streamed in about 2 weeks, so I probably won't stream again for a while. But
we'll
it's
find
free.
You.
I
Yeah.
don't care.
We'll find you. But yeah, thank you both for joining me. Definitely check them both out. And if all of you joining us enjoyed the episode, let us know in the comments, and please consider supporting us at patreon.com/GVGaming, which includes our live audience tier that will allow you to watch Game Club live as it's being recorded. But now it's time for the Wheel of Games to choose next week's title, as I'm joined by my special guests, Shellshock Prime and 112. Are you both ready to see what game we're playing?
Yes, I am.
My body is ready. Let's do this.
I am so eager to see what game are we going to play.
Oh boy, we got 2 excited individuals. Let's see if we can break their spirits. Let's bring up the wheel. Give it a spin.
Okay, let's see it.
And the game we'll be playing this week is The Legend of Zelda for the NES.
Whoa!
That's a good one right
Ooh!
There we go. And we are just knocking out these Zelda games, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So there you have
go.
it. We'll see you next time as we cover The Legend of Zelda on the NES. Thanks for watching, and until next time, bye.
Bye.